How do I evaluate my own attitude when my spouse constantly says I have a bad attitude, even though I feel I've improved a lot as an adult? I grew up hearing similar criticism, but usually from people whose own behavior was unkind or triggering. In my marriage, accountability doesn't feel mutual, and my spouse doesn't avoid doing things that provoke anger. Because of this, I'm unsure how to fairly and accurately assess myself. What's the best way to gain clarity?
The best form of criticism is what I call self-criticism. Jesus, speaking in Matthew chapter 7, he said, "And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye?" Verse 4. He said, "Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote of thine eye, and behold, the beam is in thy own eye?" Verse 5. Jesus said, "Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thy own eye, and then thou shalt see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye." In other words, Jesus was telling us that before you try to address what is wrong with your spouse, first of all, focus on yourself. Look inward, look internally. Are there things that I'm doing that I'm not supposed to be doing? Are there things that I'm not doing that I'm supposed to be doing? Or are there things that I need to stop? That's what Jesus was saying there. Because, most of us, especially for married people, we're quick to always point that finger. "Oh, my wife is not doing this well. My husband is not doing this well. My wife did this. My husband." But Jesus was saying, before you pay attention to what your spouse is saying, look inward first. What is it that I need to fix? The moment you start fixing that thing, the person you are married to has eyes to see. As soon as you fix yours, let me tell you, pointing out the flaws of that person might be a little bit easier. Number two, by the time your spouse see that you are taking accountability, you are not trying to, doing the blame game thing, always pushing it to somebody else. This person is the cause for it. The moment you start taking accountability, I think after a while, even if your spouse does not, you can now revisit that subject. But until you are fixed what he or she is complaining about, I don't think you should bring it up. So please look inward, look internally. Yes, your husband is doing something wrong. Your wife is doing something wrong. Don't worry about them first. You worry about yourself based on what Jesus has said in Matthew 7:3-5. Worry about yourself. The moment you have fixed yourself, don't worry, we can revisit that conversation with your spouse. All right. Thank you.